Okay, so I made a really boneheaded mistake here and ended up muting my mic halfway through the Battle 3, so we gotta do that all over again. I can't remember exactly everything I talked about, but I believe my deck and everything is set here. I've got my continuous punch in there, I didn't add anything else, don't have the Teoken in there yet, I don't need it for this battle. We're not playing as Gohan this time, we are playing as Goku, and since Gohan is not present, he is grayed out and we cannot select him. Goku is a lot like Gohan, just with some marginally better stats. I mean, his life strength are better, his ki just a little bit. I believe Gohan gets some higher ki in his powered up states, and speed is the same. Goku's got a lot of moves available to him. Like, before we started this, I'm pretty sure you saw the 4-stage attack, the Super Kamehameha, the Kaioken, we got all that stuff. They're all in Goku's limits, or well, the Super Kamehameha and the Kaioken are, along with the continuous kick. So let's just jump right into this battle. Goku vs Vegeta. This is the first time they fight. And Vegeta gives you a little tidbit here about how command cards work. You get more time to input the commands if you're closer to an opponent. It doesn't matter if you're in the air or on the ground, it just matters if you're closer or not. I've gotten pretty good with the command cards, I'll admit. Usually I can do up to the 6-stage attack, which is the highest command card you can get. I can do that from the furthest position back. Usually, we'll say 80% of the time. That reading key is going to come in handy. But, we're going to start with this. Now the strategy for Goku, in his base state anyway, is to gain as many CC as he can. Because Goku can spend a lot, but he can do a lot of damage by spending a lot. That's because that Kaioken card is ridiculously powerful. And since we just want our... let's start with Chaozu. We can hold on to the reading key for next turn. Next defensive turn. So the thing with my mic is the mute button is very sensitive, so it just takes a very little light tap and then all of a sudden everything's muted and I'm all screwed up. I try to avoid that. Try being the keyword. Now whenever you go into gather power and you're following your opponent, something I could always recommend is have a little buffer to use a defense card. So it'll be 5 or 7 depending on if you have a defense card or an endurance card with you or not. Because you never know what they're going to throw out, and actually is something I should mention that I didn't do the first time I did this battle, which I'm glad I can correct this time. As soon as you get the chance, move into the air. With Vegeta, he has 2 cards in his limits, 2 that I know of anyway. He has his Gallic Gun, which is basically the Kamehameha, and he has a continuous kick. If you're on the ground, he can use either of those, but if you're in the air, he's more likely to use the Gallic Gun. So it's just more predictable. Next turn we'll be able to get into the air because, obviously, I only have access to the 4-stage attack and a couple of other attacks, Defeat and a Beam, Kamehameha, and whatever the other one was. I didn't quite get that. Vegeta himself, this first time, he's not too tough an opponent. He's just as predictable as a lot of guys. You do fight him a second time, though, where he's a bit tougher because he has some more powerful cards in his deck. You can run into his Destructo Disc, which is as powerful as the Masenko, but it's less accurate. Vegeta himself, stat-wise, is very similar to Goku, if I recall right, which makes sense. I think his ki is a little bit higher than Goku's, whereas Goku's a bit stronger. But don't quote me on that, we'll have to wait and see. Because Vegeta's actually kind of a pain in the ass to unlock, I'm not gonna lie there. You have to do certain specific things in your first playthrough. So basically just follow whatever I'm doing to unlock him. Ooh, After Image. That is a nasty card, and it is a good thing that I have an accuracy up, because After Image, it's at a void level up. That means it increases your chance to avoid an attack without using a defense card. It's very powerful. It's one of the best support cards in the game, and I always like to have 1 or 2 of them in my deck when I get them. If you choose the defeat deck, you start with one right off the bat. However, it is completely negated by an accuracy up card, because that just makes your attacks 100% chance to hit, so obviously he's not gonna avoid it. It makes sense. It's just exactly how it's said. Good, that's... Well, that's all my 4-stage attacks, so... With Goku just doing the math, you would need at least 38 CC to really get the most out of your powering up here. Because the Kaioken costs 10. It's one of the most costly support cards in the game, but it's definitely worth it. It ridiculously boosts your attack and stuff. Oh, Vegeta's gathering power. Well, we're going to follow suit here. It's a good thing I've got that avoiding. I would really, really like to have a my Foresight card with me, just in case he knocks me onto the ground, because that's going to be a... that's going to make things very interesting if that happens. For now, we're just going to gather power. Full Spirit. Yeah, you see, he's going to increase his ki a lot. Now, since I don't have my Foresight, which I would usually use in this turn, and then use Kaioken in my attack phase, I'm going to use Kaioken in my defense phase, and just double my attack power now. Ooh, 5-stage attack. Now we're starting to get into these ones, and you're going to see the 5-stage attack with everyone from here to the very last few battles in the game where they start using the 6-stage attack. And, yeah, as soon as I saw the 3 A punches there, which are the A is a light punch, B is a heavier punch, I knew that I wasn't going anywhere from the air. So I've used the Kaioken. And what is this? Ooh, Full Spirit. I could boost my ki even further, which I think I'm going to do. Kaioken does not stack. I should point that out. Other support cards will stack. Kaioken does not. I believe it doesn't anyway. It hasn't seemed to for me. Anyway, let's just see the stat gains you get from this. See how ridiculous those are? See the strength gain and the ki gain that you get from using Kaioken? It's crazy. Anyway, we're going to get even more ki, because I'm going to hopefully be able to use my Super Kamehameha. So Full Spirit will help there. Sometimes it's beneficial to use the support cards in the attack phase, other times it's not. In this case, you'd get the same effect either way. You get your ki to increase. Vegeta's not in the air, he's being a pain in my ass. We're going to use Avoiding, though, to avoid his Gallic Gun. Gallic Ho. I'm pretty sure it's Gallic Gun in the translation I have. Anyway, since he's on the ground, well, my ki's boosted, so even though he's on the ground and in a defensive state, my Super Kamehameha is going to do a shit ton of damage, so we're going to use that. Maybe he'll even move forward for me. Now, even though, yeah, see how much damage that did? Imagine if he was in the air. Now, since I used that attack, it does technically count as using his After Image. But it also used my accuracy up. Now, he might be wanting to hit me. Oh yeah, he's definitely going to try to hit me with something heavy here. Ah, dang, he avoided my Chaozu. After Image isn't a foolproof card. Sometimes it is also better to increase your speed at the same time to just give you an even better chance to dodge. Okay, what we're going to do is gather power here as well. I don't really need to do that here, but it might not hurt. He's moving back, so I got some safety here. I got a nice little buffer, you can say. I don't believe gathering power actually increases your stats. It might. I will have to look that up, but I believe it just gives you access to your limit attacks. Which makes sense when you think about it. It's your limit attacks. It's like Final Fantasy, you got your limit break. So you're pushing yourself to the limit? I don't know what I'm trying to say here. Anyway, let's talk Goku a little bit here. Goku's got a lot of cards available to him. We've seen that he has the Kamehameha, the Super Kamehameha, and he's got the Teioken as well. I'm glad I got that Shockwave because I'm on the ground now, so it might help. You never know. But he's... Oh, shit, I screwed that up. Well, we're gonna see how this works. Dang, I didn't make it. But anyway, what was I saying? You're right, he's got a lot of attacks to him. He's got, the attacks that I mentioned. He has his own defeat attack called the Solid Shot. Ooh, he used the Gallico on me. Shit, that's gonna hurt, because he upped his ki a couple of times there. Yeah, even if it's just as strong as a Kamehameha, he did boost his stats a little bit, so it definitely hurt a little bit. But he's got his own defeat attack, and he's got his, he's got stronger beam attacks too. He's got access to the Spirit Bomb, which does 35 damage, as opposed to the Super Kamehameha's 30. I think we're gonna hit him with an Energy Wave here. Yeah, we'll see what happens. Maybe he'll move forward and just die. And he's got access to... oh, dang, he's using Avoiding. He's got access to a defense card called Teleport, which works the same as Avoiding, except it can be put in the limits. Kaioken can only be used in his base state. He can't use it while Super Saiyan. Spirit Bomb he can use while Super Saiyan, which makes no sense, since he never did that, but... he can do it. And the Teleport card can only be used while he's Super Saiyan or higher as well. All of his other attacks can be used at any time. Oh, except for 2 of his support cards, where he's got Super Saiyan 2nd and Super Saiyan 3rd, which are the Ascended and Ultra Super Saiyan states, where they're super muscular, but maybe slower, and they increase ki and strength, respectively, I think? Not too sure on that. I'm gonna hope for an endurance card here. But anyway, he can only use those when he's in a Super Saiyan state, obviously. I believe he can use it while he's Super Saiyan 2 or Super Saiyan 3 as well. Ooh, that accuracy up's gonna be dangerous. But he's also not the only one who can use those Super Saiyan 2nd and 3rd states. Vegeta, Trunks, and I believe Adult Gohan can as well. Okay, really hoping for my endurance card to come in my next turn, otherwise I'm just gonna have to go balls deep with an energy bomb and hope for the best. I probably should have moved forward just to do some extra damage, but we'll see what happens. I might actually lose this fight. If I lose a battle, or if you lose a battle at all... oh damn, that's not endurance. Okay, here's the thing. To unlock everyone and get every card, you're gonna have to play the game, or play through the story at least 3 times. In your first playthrough, do not lose a battle at all. So if you lose a battle, do not press A or whatever on the game over screen, just reset your console. Now we just hope for the best. Hope that yes, okay. I got a nice boost from the Kaioken and the ki up there. So, this selection is same on the defeat deck as well. I could get another Energy Bomb, which I don't really need. Shockwave's a more elusive card, so it might be beneficial to get that. Or, we can get the Spirit Bomb, which we don't have yet, which is a very powerful beam attack, and it's Goku's strongest beam attack, so I definitely recommend getting this.